new laws in the UK airports that are taking place, and Area 51 has been caught on fire. In today's video, we're going to be reacting to some of the more strange and questionable clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
If you're going to an airport anytime soon, you're going to want to watch this video, trust me. It's been in the headlines quite a bit over the last couple of days, this new thing that UK airports are trialling and set to introduce. If you like going to the airport and having a drink before your flight or on the flight, then well, this could be about to change. A lot of reports have been coming out suggesting that people drink on a plane, get a little bit hammered and then are driving home from the airport. Or they're having a cheeky bev at the airport or on the plane, and then when they get to their destination they're renting a car and driving. Now, this airport in Scotland was the first to trial it, where they are breathalyzing passengers once they land. And they are set to be trialling this more across the UK for passengers who are landing and then set to be driving home or to their destination. Now, this has raised a lot of concern online with people saying, am I going to get breathalyzed even if I'm not driving? How do they know? Now, as far as the information that's come out and what it looks like, it won't just be for anyone who's been on a flight. It will be if you're in the car park about to drive home. But I guess the question is this a good idea? Is it productive and going to help less road accidents from people who have been drinking on the plane? Or is it a bit over the top? Let me know your thoughts and I'll keep you updated.
I've ran across some really drunk people on a plane and it was pretty unpleasant. A lot of people were very unhappy with that individual. I mean, ultimately, I think the best thing to do is just to not serve alcoholic beverages in the airport or on the plane. But more or less, I think a lot of people use like Uber or Lyft once they land. So that's a much safer alternative.
We've got some major breaking news out of Area 51. A massive fire has broken out inside the base, and we're seeing it live on camera. Late last night, allegedly July 15th, plumes of smoke were spotted rising from within the boundaries of Area 51 in Groom Lake, Nevada. Get this, there's a 24/7 live stream camera set up just outside the perimeter on private property of the back gate entrance near Rachel, Nevada, and they're currently broadcasting the blaze in real time. I'll include their links below so that you can check it out. What we do know is that there is clearly a massive fire. As you can see in the giant plume of smoke, you can also see the wind blowing if you look at the trees, which is definitely not helpful in these types of situations. What we don't know is exactly what's burning inside Area 51. We don't have information on whether any structures are directly affected at this time. Was it a military training gone bad, an accident, or was it something else? Some people of course are speculating everything from black project labs that have blown up to alien tech. But it very well could be dry brush burning on the outside of the perimeter as well. But I'm watching the feed and I'm digging into updates. Follow if you want the latest as this unfolds. This is crazy. Let me know. What do you think is burning in there?
Now, I looked into this and it's not actually a fire in Area 51. Supposedly, it's a wildfire that spread 35,000 acres and it's approaching where Area 51 is at. That's at least what the news articles are saying. You know, it could all just be a cover-up, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more insight on this in the future.
Are boys innately better at math? Researchers out of France conducted a 4-year study of over 2.6 million first graders. At the start of the school year, the students exhibited similar core knowledge. But then, just 4 months later, the boys are performing significantly better. And by the end of the year, it had quadrupled. This trend does not change by socioeconomic class or school type or family, and it's not just France. Much of the world is seeing something like this. At first, you might just think, that's just when the math brain kicks in. But COVID shed some interesting light on it. Students were learning at home, and the performance gap in this regard was actually closing. Now students are back in the classroom, and it's widening again, leading many to believe that something is happening in the classroom to trigger the divide. One theory is that the stereotype of language is for girls and math is for boys leads parents and teachers to expect more from boys in math class, and so they ask them more questions, have them engage more. But again, that needs more research. As a math student myself, when I first went to undergrad, back in the Stone Age, I was either the only or one of very few girls. But when I went back to grad school years later, it was much better. My class was actually 50-50 male-female. So I'm interested to see the higher education analysis and whether or not the same gap exists there.
I personally am horrible at math. Also, I'm awful at grammar. But let me know what you guys think about this one. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And for everyone that's watching, I want to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel.
It should be illegal. How few people know about what this man has just done. After spending the last 21 years of his life building a miniature model of New York City, he hops on TikTok like it's nothing with no background, no mic, not even lighting, and casually drops that he's just carved nearly 1 million buildings by hand out of wood. He said he's finally completed all 5 boroughs, and the section that he's holding in this video is just 1 out of 350. He says he doesn't have it on display yet, but once it's laid out, it will be 50 feet long and 30 feet wide. That's just over half an NBA court. And if you break down the calculation of 1 million buildings, that's an average of 130 buildings a day, every day for 21 years straight. And this is probably alongside a full-time job. Bro needs way more recognition for this. So if you are a museum, an art gallery, or anything else, please hit my man up and put his mini NYC on display. It deserves it.
That is so cool. I really like that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not creative enough or really have the patience to really sculpt all that, but I am working on my own miniature world, if you will. I like Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop games, so I collect miniatures and I have a bunch of them. And the overall goal is to one day hopefully have my own man cave where I can have my own gaming station, my own table, and it will have its own little world inside of it, full of miniatures that are on their own little stations that looks like scenes out of a movie. I really think that that's awesome. Yeah, and this guy definitely deserves a lot more credit because that's a lot of time.
Was the Air India crash, which claimed the lives of at least 270 people, intentional? This is the central question as new information is being reported about what exactly happened back in June, in the minutes before Flight 171 flew into a medical college minutes after takeoff. Now, the Wall Street Journal suggests that the captain might have been the one who flipped the switch to turn off the engines, but aviation groups in India are rejecting that idea. All of this is based on a preliminary report from the Indian government, which found that fuel switches to both engines were turned off just 3 seconds after liftoff, one after the other. But that report did not assign any blame. The AAIB report does say in the cockpit voice recording, one of the pilots asked the other why he cut off the engine, and the other pilot says that he did not do so. The report did not say how exactly these switches were turned off, but it found that there was nothing wrong with the aircraft, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, or its engines made by GE. CBS News has asked Air India for comment on all of this, but we've not yet heard back. But these new developments are leading to speculation that the crash was an intentional act on part of the senior pilot, Sumit Subrawal, who was 56. Again, no official determination has yet been made. And according to the Wall Street Journal, Subrawal was a committed pilot, and he was actually caring for his aging father, who himself was a former civil aviation official. Also, 2 Indian pilot associations completely reject the notion that human error or intentional sabotage caused the crash. The ICPA said, quote, "To casually suggest pilot suicide without verified evidence is a gross violation of ethical reporting and a disservice to the dignity of the profession." And there's another angle to this story you should keep in mind. One person walked away and survived the crash. Vishwash Kumar Ramesh is a 40-year-old British national of Indian origin, and he's reportedly finding it difficult with dealing with the trauma of losing his brother, who was also on the flight, and being the sole survivor. And he finds it difficult to sleep.
I mean, with it being a piloted suicide, possibly, but along with all of the other technical difficulties that that plane was reportedly having with no air conditioning and other faulty equipment, it could have been just a faulty engine. But I am really interested to see more reports of this come out because they do heavy investigations on these crashes. So I guess only time will tell at this point.
I'm taking a run, right? And I feel like I'm being watched for some reason. And for some reason, I thought it was a snake, y'all. I kid you not, man. Look, check this out. Look at this. Look at this snake. Look, this dude was watching me. I don't know why I felt like, see, look at him smooth. I don't know why I felt like I was being watched. You see what I'm saying? Yo, our connection to the animals, right? Or just the surroundings. Like, we're getting more We're getting more in tune with surroundings. Well, at least I am, you know what I'm saying? With all this energy shift that's happening, y'all, I'm noticing I'm becoming more in tune with my environment. Like my perception, my hearing has been has become exponential, you know what I'm saying? Both in the physical and spiritual. Like I'm seeing a lot more than this world is letting on, you know what I'm saying? I'm tapping in, but yeah, literally crazy. I felt like I was being watched, and I'm like, what the fuck? I got that eerie feeling, and then I look, and I literally see that snake. It's gone now. But yeah, man, yeah, we tapping in the powers, man. We activating, man. The sun is not playing, boy. Look at that. Yeah, it's not playing. That thing is not playing. Let's get it.
It's interesting that I ran across this video because literally 3 days ago, it was about 9:30 at night, and I just finished eating some watermelon. I know I'm getting into some personal business here, but after I finished my watermelon, I decided that I was going to take my rinds and take them to my compost. And as I get to my compost, it's kind of dark outside. There's still just a faint little bit of light, but it's pretty dark. And as I'm at my compost putting my watermelon rinds in, I just get this odd feeling that I'm being watched, and I look over to my left, and there's a rattlesnake 10 feet away from me, not rattling until I locked eyes with him. Once I locked eyes, he started rattling. But yeah, I had that same eerie feeling. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever had that feeling, and if so, what was it?
I absolutely love alien aircraft, and just like this image right here, you can see there's all different types of alien aircraft that we've acquired over time reportedly. Take a look at this TR-3C. This has been known to be seen in the Belgium flap. Take a look at the O9G. That was the Michael Herrera Marine story where he reported that in Thailand and Indonesia he saw people getting loaded into this thing, a personnel carrier. And then this BN 2200 at the bottom. This is an interplanetary traveling ship. And many people have seen this ship too. It's usually emanating a white light around it. It's been seen all over the world, from the Americas all the way over to Asia. We've seen all these craft assuming that they're alien craft, but there's been many reports that these are actually human craft that we've created over time through alien crashes and then recreated it in our own liking and our own needs. What do you think? Have you seen these ships around? Do you think these are just mostly carriers? The third one down is a fighter ship. So there is a potential for us to be using these in battle. However, I've never seen these in war yet. So what do you think? Are these alien ships only? Or have we eventually decided to make them in our own image? Put your comment in the comment section. I'd like to hear what you have to say. I love these ships. Locked On Universe out.
I also really like these classic UFOs. Now, I do think that these UFOs are man-made concepts and or probably engineered designs. I have seen some unidentified things, but I couldn't make it out to say that that's what it was. The things that I see just look like glowing orbs. There was only one time where me and my wife seen something that was unidentifiable that looked machine-like. Literally, it looked like a big acornish type shape that had spinning mechanical gears on it. It was crazy. We seen it for a second past a tree line and it disappeared. But as far as seeing another ship that looked like that, I've not seen one. Let me know in the comments if you've seen anything similar or if you've seen any of these ships.
Wait a minute, there's an ongoing monsoon in Pakistan right now where 66 people have passed away and there's hundreds of casualties? There's no way it's connected to all the US floods and to the earthquake in Alaska, right? And to all these people getting struck by lightning every day, right? Wait till you see what I found. We've also had 3 different volcanoes or craters go off in the last 24 hours. Is this related? Check this right here out. The very second there is a massive earthquake in Alaska triggering a tsunami warning and an advisory, there's also caught a giant pulse that went through the earth at the same exact time. Not just that, but shortly after we had a massive solar flare. And all these solar flares and all these weird things going on, they always trigger the Schumann frequency because the Earth resonance. Hey, it's not time for the world on fire yet. We'll do that next video. By the way, shout out to Stephen Burns because he's the guy who uncovered this chart. Y'all know I love studying a good chart, but lately there's so many things happening at the same exact time, I haven't been able to. So what would cause this giant magnetic pulse at the very same time the earthquake happened? If you aren't aware, in all the past floods in the United States over the last week, I kept finding correlation between the Schumann frequency glitching out or spiking real hard at the same time or about the same time these floods were starting. And as we've talked about, frequency can create friction, therefore creating lightning. Did you know that 1 just passed away and 15 others were injured just yesterday from lightning? And that's not to mention the group that passed away in Georgia from lightning, and neither the group that passed away at Lake Murray from lightning. Do y'all understand how rare this is supposed to be? I've been covering this abnormal lightning phenomenon for about a week now. A little bit longer because I noticed when all the cows passed away and the cause was said to be lightning, there are other things that happened at the same exact time which made me pay attention to it. If you can start noticing patterns and correlations within frequency charts, you can start predicting events, not knowing exactly what they'll be, but events in general. Completely unrelated, not relevant whatsoever. Check out this cool radar showing all these circles pop up. Usually when there's just one, they say that it's a group of birds, but what's the likelihood of 6 group of birds popping off at the same time? And I kid you not, as I'm making this video, another volcano is popping off in Japan. 3 or 4 volcanoes in the last 24 hours. And as all this happens, they show us pictures of what they claim is the sun looking like this, and also solar flares 15 times the size of the Earth coming at us while all this stuff happens on the Earth. And I mean, you can see the vibrating frequencies abnormal in the southeast when we have the auroras coming down while all this sun activity is coming. The question you need to ask yourself is why all the abnormal, weird frequency? Because everything is frequency.
Man, for all these people going through these natural disasters, I'm so sorry. And I've seen a lot of videos of the earthquakes happening in Alaska, and that's pretty rough as well.
This is wild. Police have just found a woman from Russia living in a cave with her 2 kids in India. But strangely, they don't really have a clear picture on how they got there, who they really are, or how long they've been living in this cave. Reports say that authorities in India happened to notice some bright clothes outside a cave while on a routine patrol throughout a forest. When they decided to investigate, they found a 40-year-old Russian national along with her 2 daughters aged only 5 and 6. Police said it appeared that they were living in this cave, and when they told them it was dangerous because of landslides in the region, snakes, and other wild animals, the mother replied, "Animals and snakes are our friends. Humans are dangerous." Either way, they took her in for questioning, where she said that her name is Nina Kutina and claimed that for the last 15 years she's been living all over the world. Authorities said that they've managed to track down her husband, who is apparently an Israeli businessman who's currently in India, and they're now trying to persuade him to pay for them to be sent back to Russia. And according to the mother, this isn't the first time she's lived in a cave. In fact, she even said that one of her daughters was born in a cave in a different part of India, and that they're all happy, safe, and living healthy this way. And ironically, now that she's been taken out of a cave and put in a detention center waiting to be deported, she's complaining about how dirty it is and how there's not enough food.
Wow, I guess she was just living her best life. I mean, honestly, as long as she's healthy and the kids are healthy, there's really nothing wrong with them living in the cave. Sure, it's dangerous, but like she said, people are pretty dangerous. I mean, if there's a property owner for this cave, maybe they care, but if they didn't care...
Scientists have successfully used deep learning AI to uncover hidden motor signs of neurodivergence, which means that they were able to have a computer on a webcam like this one watch somebody, measure their movements down to a millisecond scale, and then tell with a surprising degree of accuracy whether they had an autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, or a couple of other things that they tested for. If you want to read the paper yourself, it's called Deep Learning Diagnosis plus Kinematic Severity Assessment of Neurodivergent Disorders by Koshrav. That'd be an easy thing for you to search. But it was fascinating. I initially incorrectly assumed that there would be sensors on there for neurons, but as you scroll down in the paper, you'll see the only thing that it seems to measure is the movement data of your hand, whether you're rotating it, lifting it up and down, or etc. They feed this into a deep learning model, which is very complicated. There's a lot in the paper about their loss functions and how accurate this is, but this dives way down into like machine vision and computer-assisted learning and stuff, which isn't the point of this article. What they were able to find, though, is that there were different patterns of movement between neurotypical and neurodivergent individuals. The end result of all of this work is that the diagnostic model achieved an accuracy of around 70%, which means that just by the test, as simple as it was, here's the thing on your hand, touch the dot on the screen, it's going to move around, they'll touch it in different places, but judging just by how you're moving your hand, not even the neurons that are firing in your hand, but just its movements, they were able to get a 70% accuracy diagnosis for a variety of neurodivergences, which I think is shocking. I also think it's very good research because it's a very easy, objective, and sort of physical symptom test for something that has historically been a very subjective opinion. So this might help a lot of people get an accurate diagnosis in the future.
I would like to see further studies and different studies for this because I'm curious on how it would work. In this example, he said that it monitors you through a camera on your movements and how you gesture things. What if you did not have any arms or legs? How would it be able to take in that study? Also, what if you're someone that's manipulating the system and instead of moving at a normal pace, you either sporadically move or you slow your movement down or you just make really jittery movements just to trick the system? Again, I would like to see the studies of these or see how they are done in those situations because I'm curious. Because I would be worried that it's just giving me a false report because I accidentally had a nerve twitch and I moved incorrectly.
Did I just see a skinwalker? Alright, no lie. I'm on my back porch. I heard something stomping in the woods. Something huge. Why is it coming closer? I have no idea what this is. It's like right up here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little freaking spooked right now. I'm not afraid of you. Show yourself. I stood my ground. I saw your eyes. The eyes were not visible. I couldn't see anything. I had my flashlight on. I couldn't see anything. This thing is big. I'm not that high off the ground, but I'm high enough to where I thought it couldn't attack me. Until I saw how high its eyes were. There it is. It sounds like it's walking up here. I don't know if you can hear this. I'm trying to be quiet. Did I just see a skinwalker? Alright, no lie. I'm on my back porch. I heard something stomp.
I mean, it's really so dark, it's hard to tell, but that little bit where you see the eyes and the silhouette, I think that could have been an owl. That's my only guess. If not, you might want to better defend yourself in this situation, because there might be a demon out there. But realistically, I have a feeling that that was an owl. I've shined a flashlight at an owl in the tree before, and it had similar glowing red eyes. Let me know what you guys think it could have been in the comments. I mean, for all we know, it could have been a hoax as well. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. And with that being said, have a good day.